Welcome to Like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. I'm Aaron Mason.
And I'm Max Mason.
And we're starting this a little bit delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anybody will recognize that. It was a wild weekend of running over to San Diego with a whole bunch of people, but not Max.
Yeah.
He's too far away. And just driving a whole lot and getting in late Sunday night and then getting up really early Monday morning and flying to St. Louis. So it's been a little bit crazy. So I'm mostly awake.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
It's been good. Had some job interviews and
cool.
They seem to go well. They seem to like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you well enough.
They like me well enough. So yeah, hopefully me be starting some new job a little closer to home in the next couple weeks. I did hear they got 32 applications.
Yeah.
For the job, and then I was the only person they interviewed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I guess you made a good impression on your. Wait, did they have anything to do with it, or you were the one?
I guess. I mean, I guess I was just the one. I mean, I'm sure, having someone vouch for me a little bit helped, but makes me feel really nervous for the job. Like, I hope they made the right choice out of 30 people.
Yeah, because I could get 2 people fired if I do bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure you'll do great. You've been doing great all the way along, so just keep up the good work. Hey, they hired you with that hair, so
I know. It's even this is maintained and it's still kind of wild.
Yeah, so wild. Well, when we went to San Diego, we drove Eli's parents as well.
Oh yeah.
So because Ezra and his girlfriend and Eli were coming, and Eli and his girlfriend flew down from Utah and came over, and so we're getting all of them together.
Yeah.
And harassing them. I mean, spending time with them. And so it was nice to have them because we get along with them really well, and he and I have a lot of the similar likes of things.
You and Eli?
No, David, his dad.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we got there pretty early because we left early in the morning, and we got there and we did all the stuff we were going to do. And then we were looking around. We found out that there's a beach there that possibly had cool rocks, and it said, but you need to go at low tide.
Okay.
Low tide was 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I did do that. And it was a little bit crazy. And it was, the staircase was just a staircase down the face of a cliff. Mm-hmm. And it was probably 300 feet high. And so it was a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of beach. And it was, I don't know. It was hilarious because we went and did that, and it just kind of set the pace for the whole weekend. And then the next day was beach day, but Josie didn't want to start till like late afternoon so people wouldn't get too much sun. And so then it was impossible to find a place to park.
Right.
And then the beach we went to had a bunch of rocks, and a bunch of us came back very wounded, very scraped up. So I have a huge scrape on my back, on my side, that just, took a layer off. And
right.
And then like 100 feet down the beach, there was no rocks, and we didn't know that. So, which was not very far, and we could have been happy and not dying. But lessons learned.
Yeah.
So it was, and then the next day we left, and we got back at like 7 o'clock at night yesterday. So
Yeah.
It's just been going and going and going.
Right.
But yeah.
Busy day. Busy weekend.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to see the ocean. I like the ocean's very relaxing.
Yeah.
It really, even though I got my whole body, all my skin scraped off, I was still happy.
Yeah.
So
I have such a hard time wanting to be at the beach for multiple hours. Like,
yeah,
if I lived at the beach or close by,
yeah,
I would go every day, but I don't want to spend like 5-6 hours there.
Right. Well, the funny thing is your mom hates the beach because all the sand, and it's just inconvenient. Yeah. It's an inconvenient. It just is. And then it was overcast, which was fine, just slightly overcast, and yet your mom still got super red, and it made her sick. Like she got itchy and like a rash, and today she felt like she was going to die, and then finally it's passed. But I think she had an allergic reaction to the sun. Maybe some of the medicine she's taking or something like that. But it was really weird, and it wasn't even that much sun.
Just enough.
Yeah, we were going to go when we were going to go earlier. We were going to go for a few minutes. We were going to take Seth, go back, drop Seth and your mom off, and I was going to go back, pick people up, and then come, do a bit of driving.
Yeah.
And instead, because it was so late, we just stayed because it was overcast and it was fine. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it just really, really a weird thing. That was our adventure.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Today's adventure was trying to get here.
Yeah.
And trying to think about this subject.
Yeah.
That I want to do. So this is going to be maybe kind of a part 2 to something I've done before, but not really.
Okay.
Just in the same vein, but in a different approach. So, have you heard of haikus?
Yeah, I've heard of haikus.
Okay. So what is, other than the number of syllables, what's significant about a haiku?
I think maybe more traditionally they focus on nature and meant to be. Yeah. I don't know if they're meant to be, but they always seem like they're meant to be shared more.
This is why I ask questions like this, because you've just given 2 answers that are, while they are accurate, are not what I was thinking of, which is good.
Okay.
No, which is really interesting. I like how you approach the question, because it was very open-ended, and you took it out in the open and shot. No, I mean you took it out in the open.
Yeah. I think they're meant to be shared mostly because of that Avatar episode where Sokka stumbles into the haiku house.
Yeah. What do they do? How do they use language, do you think?
I mean, efficiently.
Yeah.
Kind of have to.
Yeah. So I think of them as I think they're the word version of a snapshot. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but also it conveys an instant.
Yeah.
And so I think with the haiku, you're trying to convey those 1,000 words in a few words, in 17 or 17 syllables.
Right. Yeah.
So that means, the term we've talked about before is the economy of language.
Right.
And I think it's very important to consider that. I think that it is good practice, and it's good that in school a lot of primary students learn haiku because it's a very structured approach, but it teaches how to economize language.
Yeah.
And the best of the haiku can create an emotion, share a whole story, and really drive to the center of what you're trying to say. It's the same as using the right word in a sentence.
Yeah.
So when I don't know if you do this, but when I was younger, I used to just sit and read the dictionary.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't do that now, but I do something kind of similar at work where a lot of times when I have free time, I'm just looking at like Google Maps.
Yeah.
And just kind of
there you go.
learning where things are. Not the exact same, but I think similar idea.
Yeah, I think it's that just you're hoping for random discovery. So that opens up a whole nother discussion. Whereas the thing in modern society that's missing is and I'll go. Let me take a couple steps back.
Okay.
Because this ties in. I was just reading something. I'm trying to remember which item it was that kind of changed things. Okay, so we were watching The Lost L.A. It's a public television little thing that they do. That this guy he presents. I think his name's Nathan Howe, something like that. And he for the Southern California or Los Angeles Public Television. I can't remember which PBS it is.
Right.
He's been doing this series for quite a number of years called Lost LA, and he just covers everything. He covers surf culture, he covers movies, he covers Hollywood sign, different neighborhoods, how different neighborhoods came to be, how different the Hollywood Bowl, the Dodger Stadium, and what that meant. It's kind of deep dives on these different things and archives and everything.
Yeah.
So they were. This episode was about the Hollywood sign, the Hollywood Bowl, and the Capitol Records Tower building.
Yeah.
So, and how those are different iconic items that kind of changed things, and how they came to be, and the Capitol Records. They kind of became the big deal, and partly because of that building, but also they they came about just as things were changing regarding records. So it used to be that you went up to the counter and asked for the record you want and then bought it.
Okay.
But when Capitol started getting, kind of 50s, 60s, they started having record stores where you could go and fan through records, and that was somebody. They said it was somebody's invention. Somebody, I think, at Capitol that said, "Hey, let's do it this way."
Funny.
And so it's just like it's like going to the library. It's going to the store. It's going to the record shop. It's any of those things where you can say, "Oh, here's other stuff in the genre. Here's another album. Here's this or that," and you kind of pull in things that you wouldn't have heard before.
Right.
And somewhat the digital streaming can kind of push different things to you if it's good, or it can push things to you that are driven by other ulterior motives.
Right.
So how does that tie into this? Well, I just think it was interesting that what's essential, what's required, what's necessary to get an idea across, and how we come across those ideas and what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
So do you ever feel like you have to, have you ever played the game where how can you get an idea across in the least amount of words? Like if you had to do something, you had to shout a few words to get an idea across because you were trapped down a well or something like that.
Not exactly, but I don't know if that's like there's a game like that. Maybe it's like probably not that, but it's a game like that where you I played it in college a few times where everyone like you pick a subject out of a hat and you have like 5 words to try to describe it, and then next round you only have 1 word, and then after that you just have like an action.
Yep. There's another one called Password where you can only say 1 word.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth until somebody gets it. And I think that's an interesting effort too, because you are searching for the perfect trigger word.
Yeah.
So a lot of people try to economize language.
Yeah.
And I always want to try and do that, and I always want to give the weight of a full and complete picture and idea to each line of poetry, because that's what talented poets do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult to do that. I've tried to emulate styles. I think that when you're trying to kind of intentionally imitate somebody's style, that can be very difficult. When you come across your style and then somebody else also has that style, and then you are influenced by them, that's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Because you have somewhat of a similar voice, and you can see or get validation for the directions you're taking.
Right.
But just trying to be as efficient and talented as somebody who's already perfected it is frustrating.
Yeah.
And it is also interesting to me because you're doing a lot of reading of novels, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I just finished a Stephen King novel that it was a lot. It was a huge novel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Holly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think I've heard of it.
There's a detective agency,
mm-hmm.
and there's a previous book where there's a detective and she's helping him, and then that detective dies and she takes over.
Yeah.
That one has there's so many stories told in it, and there's so many words, and that's kind of the other side of it, because you can write a lot of words and it can look like a lot of words and it can feel like a lot of words.
Yeah.
Or you can be Stephen King and suddenly 1,000 pages is gone and you're like, that was did I even spend time reading that? That was just, because his stuff moves. He doesn't.
It does.
I think that he doesn't hold the action back, which is what moves it along.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But
there's a YouTube channel we watch. He does like book reviews, and it really got me thinking about how impressive like good writing can be. When he was talking about something that was not written very well. So it was this book where like the main character is like very obsessed with death and kind of wants to die.
Right.
But at the end, there's this whole message like, oh, you shouldn't die. It's not worth it. And at the end, they're just like, it didn't feel earned or good because nothing in the dialogue up until that point pointed towards that being the conclusion. And it got me thinking like, that must be so difficult to like write dialogue throughout the book that is kind of pro death, but then subtly hints at life or like wanting to live.
Right.
It's like, how do you that's tricky. And I don't know how you do that without it being obvious.
Yeah. And I think that is the difference between genius and trying to be clever.
Yeah.
I think that's where I do see kind of a break, right? It's that you can be very talented, but if you're just trying to be something instead of just being something, and that's that honesty in and owning what it is. Maybe the product isn't as polished and flashy, but often it's better, and often it's a better creation because it's on, and that honest is kind of an interesting term.
Yeah.
And used in the context that there isn't any guile in the emotion.
Yeah. It's like you get to the end of the book and you kind of learn what it's all about, and then you can look back on what you've read. It's like, oh, it was always pointing towards this, even though you didn't realize it going forward, going through it.
Right. And I've seen the the biggest anti-example of that I can remember as a kid, because it was the first time I realized when an author got lazy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's in the world of fantasy.
Okay.
So in Lord of the Rings, right? This isn't who is lazy, but it's he has rules.
Yeah.
In fact, he's so concerned about the rules that often he would stop writing to create the rules and make sure that he would abide by them. Whether they be language or a history or a consistency in format or style, that was his game that he played. And the Lord of the Rings is always going to work the way it works, and it's going to live by the rules it lives by, and it's not going to step outside of those. I think my dad had been reading for somebody else, and there's a series by David Eddings called The Belgariad.
Okay.
And it's an epic thing with magic and sorcerers and apprentices and all this kind of stuff. And this kid just out of nowhere gets taken up by a wizard, and he's gonna do all these things. And you kind of know that the kid is probably more talented naturally than it's not by chance, right? I think he's an orphan. So of course, this was always set up this way, and that the wizard guy kind of has been watching out for him all along and takes him on this adventure. Well, that's fine, but I think he got to a word count and got tired of writing the book because it's really, really, really fantastic. And then right at the end, the kid turns out to be all powerful and just blows everybody to pieces that's challenging him out of nowhere. There's no pretext. Just, oh yeah, he's learning. He's pretty talented at magic. Oh, suddenly he's all powerful. Boom, story over.
Weird.
And it was so disappointing because it's like 5 books. And then on the last 20 pages of the 5th book, he gave up.
Jeez.
Well, that was the worst payoff ever.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was always my issue. Like, granted, I only read the first 3 Harry Potter books.
Right.
But my issue with it was like nothing really mattered for Harry. Like, as far as the rules go, he was breaking the rules all the time and nothing came of that. And maybe it does later on, but at least in those books, he just kind of got away with it all.
Yeah. Harry Potter is written very entertainingly. But it has the same frustration for me that Frasier has. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I haven't watched, no.
Okay, so Frasier always frustrated me. And it frustrated me for only about 20% of the episodes. A lot of them were fine. They were great. They're funny. But the ones that really got me were ones where if somebody had said one word that they would have normally said in normal society, there wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
So it felt very like derived and forced on some of them, where they're having these huge arguments, and it just keeps going and going and escalating in their smugness. And I would get up and just be done. I'd have to leave or turn it off because it was so stupid. And for being, intelligent characters,
right?
That was just dumb. Because it was pointless. It's like, just say this. That it was a situation where if he would say what he did wrong, the other person would not be upset.
Yeah.
Because what he did wrong was in an effort to help the other person. And there's this whole confrontation that has no point.
Yeah.
So that's one of them that just bothers me because and a lot of them it didn't. A lot of them it was just fun. But then there's every once in a while they did the episode where they just had confrontation that was completely and utterly manufactured and had no consequence either way.
Weird.
So on one side we have overabundance and an excess, and I don't want to come across with the impression that excess is necessarily bad, because I've seen many a thing in various disciplines where an excess is kind of fun. And it has its place. However, I think it's easier to be excessive. And then I think it takes brilliance to make the excess mean something. That means something beautiful, means something good and right. I think it's much harder to be economical in your art. Because sometimes it's you're not allowed to be. If you're a novelist, sometimes there's a word count requirement. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
Right.
But one person who was consistently brilliant at being economical with their language is who I kind of want to talk about, but just a small portion. But it's somebody we've talked about before a little bit, but William Carlos Williams. I don't know if maybe because his name's kind of economized too. Maybe that's why. What I really think is that he was a doctor.
Okay.
So or a physician. I don't know whatever the difference is, but he was a medical doctor. And I think that getting to the point of the issue was natural for him. And in a very, what I want to talk about is one of those items that's extremely, extremely polarizing.
Okay.
So kind of, and I actually found out there's another one that has nothing to do with this, but I was laughing because we know Tucson's polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. There's not a lot of middle ground on that. What I didn't realize is that the Red Hot Chili Peppers are the same thing. Because I thought everybody liked them because they're very, because I like them a lot and they're very talented and they've got a long career. And there's a lot of people that do not. I mean, actively do not like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And it's not even like, well, they're okay. It's no, I hate them. And I did put forth, as we were talking about this, I put forth a theory or a thought exercise.
Okay.
Not to get sidetracked, but I thought you'd find this interesting. I wonder if you did a study on the most polarizing bands, as far as who likes and hates. And then overlaid that on where they're from. What geographical location would be the most polarizing? And my opinion is that it's Southern California. And the person we were talking to said, well, or New York. I'm like, I'll tell you what the difference is. This is all my conjecture. The difference is that New York has a reputation of being the most cosmopolitan, biggest city where everything starts. Trendsetters. And I think people, while they might hate something from New York, they give it more of a chance if they don't like it because they think that maybe they just don't understand it because New York is so sophisticated. Whereas California, you've got a bunch of dudes and surfers and Hollywood, and it's plastic and fake. And so if it's not cool there, it's probably just because they're just fried. So, and so I think my contention is that probably Southern California is the set of the most polarizing bands. But
I can see
that's just my theory.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the most polarizing poem that I've. This is one of those poems that most people, if the poem is any longer, they think they can find at least some meaning in it, or if they don't like it, there's enough words and enough ideas that they know why they don't like it, even if it's wrong. even if it's superficial.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just don't like it's too long, it's too wordy, it's too this, too that. This poem doesn't give you a chance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It just is over before it starts.
Wow.
But it's also probably one of my favorite poems of all time. It is 16 words long.
Wow.
And it is haiku like. It is 7555. So it's not in the haiku way, but it is similar.
Pretty close.
It's pretty close. It's probably obviously influenced, although I would hazard a guess that's not influenced by haiku. It's influenced by the fact that William Carlos Williams just writes like this. We read before the one about the grapes in the refrigerator. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And how brief but pointed and all encompassing. I mean, it gives the whole idea in a very short poem. This one's even shorter, and I think this has more of a picture. This is a bigger picture in a shorter poem. So I've been thinking about this since before we did the first episode about talking about a single poem and talking about this single poem, because this single poem is so not much to talk about. Doing a single poem and doing proof rock is not really doing a single poem, because it's almost it's a short story length.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cheat, and it was still fun,
right?
And it's still just one poem, but this one really pushes it. And so I've had to talk around it, but I thought I'd read it just so and tell you what it is.
Okay.
But the poem is called "The Red Wheelbarrow," which also brought up some interesting conversations, because when I had your mom read the title, she was like, "What's a wheelbarrow? Why is it spelled that way?" And I said, "Because it's a wheelbarrow. What do you think it is?" And she said, "A wheelbarrow?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, it's not a wheelbarrow. That's just something you heard, and your dad's from West Virginia, and that's how." And so she called up her sister and said, "Did you know that it's called a wheelbarrow?" And she's like, "Nuh-uh, it's a wheelbarrow." And then we looked it up, and they're like, "Huh, been alive for several decades and learned something new."
I always thought it was a wheelbarrow forever.
Barrel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a barrow.
Barrow.
Okay, so sorry to say so, because that's how it starts. I'm just going to read this.
Okay.
And then I want your impression. You've probably heard it before, but this is see what you see.
Okay.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. So when I tell somebody that this is my favorite, and then they read it, there's usually a confused look.
Yeah.
Because it's simple, right?
Right.
I would argue that it's not simple.
Right. Yeah.
Because you cannot not see that picture.
Right.
There is no confusion. It's also poetically written, so there is what I would call $5 words, because my mom used to tell, there's a story about a lady who had the neighbor kid over to do yard work for her.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how to do, what do you get paid? He goes, well, if you come over and mow the lawn, you get $1. Now this was a long time ago, so that was enough money. He goes, well, what do I have to do to get $2? What do I have to do to get $3? And the most specialist do everything was a $5 job.
Yeah.
And she goes, nobody's ever done a $5 job. You'd have to do this, 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 and this. And so the kid worked and worked and worked and worked up to the $5 job. And when he went and talked to her, she goes, okay, how much do I owe you? And he said $5. Mm-hmm. And when she went out and inspected, he had done a $5 job. And so we use that in kind of transitive properties. We use $5 words.
Yeah.
And things like glazed with rainwater.
Yeah.
Glazed with rainwater is perfect image.
Yeah.
You can't not understand. That's the thing. But
I think you said the same thing when we were talking about the end of I Know the End.
Yeah.
The Phoebe Bridgers, where it's let the ultraviolet cover me up or however it goes. And I think you said it then, like, that's a $5 word. It's not just sunlight, it's ultraviolet. It's
right. Because the English language is, we get criticized, us English speakers, especially Americans, mm-hmm. for shortcutting and using simple words, whereas other countries have these perfect words like, oh, you can't convey this in English. It just doesn't translate. Right. Well, it does. We just don't use those words on a regular basis. But we have those words. They're just not as popular.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to my dictionary reading. But I would always be looking for those. My dad was really good about trying to find those right words and picking them up. What I think of is that I try and see when I kind of chew on ideas and thoughts and like how am I saying this right? Did I say that phrase correctly?
Yeah.
And I like to sit with things and chew on them and let my mind kind of mess around to see, and you can feel it when you get the right word.
Yeah.
You can feel.
Right.
And that's why. So there's a question here. Why does so much depend upon that image?
I don't know if I know why, but I think that was the first thing I thought about when you read it, is that there is potentially so much that relies on it, when in the poem it sounds like right now nothing is depending on the wheelbarrow, because it's just sitting there. But I think because of maybe what could rely on, or a wheelbarrow to carry around, it is so much. There's a lot of things you can do.
Well, I think that first line is what changes this from a haiku, an expanded haiku.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the poem is more of a haiku. Because, and I'll show you why. Haiku is image only a lot of the time.
Right.
It is the snapshot. It doesn't give any meaning to it.
Yeah.
So if I read this, a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens, that's haiku.
Yeah.
When you add so much depends upon, that creates tension.
Yeah.
That creates some sort of meaning. That creates mystery. That is one of the most brilliant use of 4 words.
Yeah.
Because that he has shown you a gun in the detective novel.
Yeah.
And never fired it. It is tension. It is what has caused it to be a polarizing, and also to create that tie to it for me for years and years and years. to be so engaged and entranced by this poem that's so simple. And it's those four words just think about that. You take those out, it's just an image.
Yeah.
Those four words make it the world.
Yeah.
and that's his brilliance. It gives it really is, it's creating tension, because you have to look at this. It's like driving by down the freeway and you see something that is shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going so fast and you forgot where it was that you can never figure it out. You don't know if what you saw is what you saw. You don't know if something bad happened or something good happened, or if you're misinterpreting it. You don't know. This does that.
Yeah.
In 16 words. And all of it hinges on the first four. He says of it that it sprang from affection for an old black man he knew named Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
He had been a fisherman, caught porgies off Gloucester. He used to tell me how he had to work in the cold in freezing weather, standing ankle deep in cracked ice, packing down the fish. He said he didn't feel cold. He never felt cold in his life until just recently. I liked that man, and his son Milton almost as much. In his backyard, I saw the red wheelbarrow surrounded by the white chickens. I suppose my affection for the old man somehow got into the writing. Sure.
Yeah.
You can see there's a care for this, and that so what depends on it? Is it his affection for this man is what caused the poem to be written, and the imagery of the wheelbarrow and the chickens gave him a vehicle to show that affection? Is that what it depends on?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it depends so much depends upon this person and the work that he did?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and is it the red wheelbarrow?
Mm-hmm.
Is it what does the wheelbarrow do? If so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, why? What does that symbolize?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've kind of been thinking about this so much is like, this guy who he appreciates, it's his whole livelihood in a way, kind of his whole existence was relying on this wheelbarrow in that sense. But I've been reading Breakfast of Champions right now.
Right. Oh yes.
And so I've been trying to think, like, so in Slaughterhouse-Five he has the "So It Goes" that appears all the time. And in Breakfast of Champions, it's and so on all the time.
Yeah.
And it's always like, I think, at least how it feels to me is that in the moment, it's after like these kind of maybe important conversations.
Yeah.
That are probably really like pivotal and important conversations in someone's life, or important moments, but he doesn't want to really explore that, or like maybe give you the satisfaction of knowing that. So he says, and so on.
Right.
So like it's this important moment, and also it keeps going. And so when maybe if you're not really sure if something's an important moment, you'll say and so on to maybe make you focus in on that being an important moment. I'm only like 100 pages in, but that's how it's felt so far.
I can see that. I can also see this being how doing the little things becomes more important than the big things. And I mentioned before in another conversation about an anecdote that Daniel Pinkwater talked about, how the Cuban Missile Crisis and JFK and all that was happening, and he was at art school doing woodcuts.
Yeah.
But somebody else saw him with his light on every night and said, hey, there's somebody doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And so the work that he was doing wasn't important. It was just artwork. The fact that he did it every night was what was important. Because that meant something to that other person who was inspired. And I think that's the same thing I mean when I say I finally got permission to feel a certain way. Like when I was in college and met somebody who was of a different political persuasion, of which I maybe thought that I favored, but felt that I had no permission to follow.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm not aligned with the thing that you think I have to be aligned with. We feel this way. And that gave me permission to say, hey, I can be who I think I am.
Yeah.
And he had no idea.
Right.
But that was the important thing, is he was being genuine and honest.
Yeah.
And wasn't trying to hide something from me. Mm-hmm. Wasn't keeping up an appearance. He was just being who he was. And I think often in our lives, we're like, oh, I didn't know that I could do that.
Right.
And
that's kind of how I feel about, like, maybe it's the same thing, but I don't feel like I get inspired by things a lot. Yeah. But I do feel like a lot of things I really enjoy, give me permission to do things.
Yes.
So like for me, something like a death grips, I don't really love it, but now I know that, like, if I need to create something with that harsh of a sound, I know that it's possible. I know that I could get there. Or really a lot of things, like, I don't feel inspired for so long, but I feel not capable, but like given capability, if there's a better word for that.
And I think it's also when you find that when you find that you're not the only one that feels that way.
Yeah.
Whatever that way is somehow comforting, because we all want to be unique and special. But sometimes that's very lonely, and sometimes that's very disconcerting, and sometimes that's very destabilizing.
Yeah.
To be the only one.
Right.
So when you find that maybe you're not the only one, but it is fairly rare, because you've only found one or two other people that feel that way, but there are one or two other people that feel that way, and they're people that you like, and they're people that you respect, or that you understand, hey, I can identify with more elements of what they're talking about because of that. So, but that it's very interesting. It's and I think that's what the depends upon means. There is some other historical reasonings why it means so much, and why it depends upon that, and it is, everything it says in here is, it is major things are going on, but the fact that the simple things still exist is very important. And it's like when the world's hectic and you're rushing from here to there and everything's just crazy, and then all of a sudden, like for us, when I'm just busy, and then all of a sudden the javelina come back into our yard, I feel like it's so much depends upon family of javelina eating potato wedges in our backyard.
Yeah.
Beside my metal fish sculpture. There you go.
Right.
I'll have to write that one down. A whole series of so much depends upon.
Yeah.
But it's I think that is the key pivoting point of taking it away from an image to a meaning. And it's amazing. I think exactly what you said in those books you're reading is that it is taking it away. There's these little things that can be said that take it away from just, oh, that happened, to maybe there's something more. Maybe there's a bigger weight. Maybe you don't understand the whole picture. And I think that's always an interesting approach, is, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Why? But why? What can you do? And it's the funny version of this is ruin a song with one word.
Yeah.
And but yeah, imagine the weight of it. And you can go on and on and on. There's only about 1,000 reels out there of ruin the song with one word.
Yeah.
And it's always
or
hilarious
I like the ones
because,
that are like, if a movie is PG-13, it's allowed one F word. So like, where would you put the F word in like in like Lord of the Rings that doesn't swear, but like, where would you put that?
Yeah. When Gollum bites his finger off.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's the obvious one. I think there's probably a funnier one.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's funny.
Anyway.
That's funny. Or ruin the movie with one word. But
right.
that just shows the weight that even one word can have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's why this has captured my attention for so long, and I've been so engaged with this poem. I mean, it's an interesting thing because I instantly want to return and read it over and over and over again, because it does have that tension and that mystery, and also because everybody hated it.
Yeah.
When I first read it, everybody's like, "That's stupid." I'm like, it's not. You need to give it a chance. And it's kind of like my love of licorice and postum and everything awful and bitter is because the more people hate it, the more I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But that's just my confrontational side. But I really want I want you to take away, and anybody who's listening to take away, the amazing tension. I think it was said in there's a movie called it's a Will Ferrell movie that isn't like a Will Ferrell movie. It's called Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that movie overall is great. It's got heavy literary influence, and it kind of examines a lot of different play on words and and things like that. But for one, he gets when he's talking to the girl, he gets her an assortment of flowers, but they're FLOUR because she's a baker. So so that's the funny thing. And what did the guy say? He said that the most important word is, he said, in writing fiction, the phrase, and which is kind of funny because it's 4 words as well. The phrase is "little did he know." And he says it's simple and seemingly innocuous, and it would, little did he know that this simple, seemingly innocuous act would result in his imminent death. Is what the narrator says over the top of him. And he's like, what? Little did he know what? Little did he know? But Dustin Hoffman is saying, little did he know is the most charged phrase in literature. And little did he know is so much like so much depends upon.
Yeah. It's It's funny. I can only think of little did he know in regards to Arthur Dent.
Yes. Yes. And
yeah.
Ta-da. How much happened, right?
Yeah.
And it really is funny that they use that in Hitchhikers, because he knew nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than that, the use of that word, that phrase in any other book, that was probably one of the more appropriate uses of it.
Yeah.
So I just, it's interesting, and I'm sure there's a few more, but of all the most impactful phrases, so much depends upon, and little did he know. These little 4 words that seem simple, and yet they create all of the tension.
Yeah.
And I think that's the magic of the Red Wheelbarrow, is that it simply creates tension and mystery and gives you a very beautiful picture, but doesn't answer anything. And
right.
And so you're left to ponder and explore, and that's why we've sort of been able to talk about this for a long time.
Yeah,
because it's brilliant. I think anybody who gets the opportunity should step into it again and see if it can engage you,
right,
for more than just the superficial. Hey, it's a short poem. So
yeah,
that's what I've been pondering this week.
Yeah, that's cool. That it's cool because that kind of aligns with some things I've been thinking about. I mean, the whole Breakfast of Champions book is all about ideas.
Yeah.
How ideas affect other people, and I've also I've been wanting to explore, like maybe write some sort of essay or something around the idea that I think 2 Pringles is better than 1 Pringles. But it's not. But it's not better than 3 Pringles. So like 2, 1, and 3 is the progression. So like having some excess is okay, but also it's not better than having too much.
That's funny. I like that. That would be a good paper. A good op-ed.
Yeah.
Opinion piece. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. And besides that, I think Breakfast of Champions is one of the funniest, quirkiest, weirdest books ever.
I know. I just read the part where he Kilgore was he had the idea for a novel where some guy goes to another planet and they have a problem with dirty movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we have dirty movies on Earth too. And they go to a theater and it's just the guy eating a plum or a peach or something. And then he's like, of course it was fake. It wasn't a real plum. Or
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is really funny, but I really his stories are always so interesting, like how he constructs a story.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Pink Water in a way that it feels like it's being told around a fire instead of a book.
Yes. Yeah, I think they're very similar. As far as style, worldview, I think they see the world just a little bit off.
Yeah.
And it makes them laugh, and that's what creates a good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff. That's what I have. So I'll go. Thanks for considering this with me, and you've been listening to Like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. And this is Aaron Mason.
And I'm Max Mason.
And thanks for listening.
See ya.